Hello, everybody. Welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm host Isaiah, and we are back to talk about Big Brother Canada season 11. We're a little late today. It's okay. The vibes. But we're back as usual to talk about this week. I'm with my co-host as usual, Josie. Josiane, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm feeling great. I didn't wear my Canada shirt today. I was thinking about it because Canadians support the crown, and so do I. So I was here for it. I'm excited to talk about it, and let's get it popping.
All right, and I also have Katie. What's going on?
Not much. I'm ready to unpiss myself. I'm pissed off. I'm going to unpiss myself. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I'm just kidding. I'm not pissed. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. But really, how many times did Renee say she was pissed?
Plenty.
Too many.
But speaking of piss, we have a pissed off house in the last episode. It was a good time. So I'm excited to talk about it. But we might as well get started. So, this was a very interesting week. We're coming in from the absolute chaos of last week. Obviously, nobody officially eliminated. Zach left, and all hell broke loose. The beginning of this week, I definitely will say, was more like a recovery week. Specifically for Ty and other parties, but we're starting to see people kind of test the waters. There's damage control going on all around. Since there wasn't an official vote, the whole girls alliance that was formed, it's kind of iffy on some spots because they didn't get to confirm it. Josie, what's been going on for you? Like, how do you feel about the state of the house right now?
It's like we have one good thing, and it always takes a man to ruin things. I don't know. Like, it's just crazy. Yeah, Isaiah, I said it, and I said it with chest, and I'll say it again. Because we had such a good thing going. I was here for the Savage people, doing the signs with them. And now all of a sudden, Ty stays. That fake walkout makes Claudia forget the game is still happening, and she's all over him. And I'm just so tired. I'm so over it. Like, this is why we can't have nice things. Because why is it that we have such a good thing going, and a man just has to fake walk out and be all capping, and all of a sudden we forgot that we have a whole girls' alliance. And the anonymous HOH this week, 8 down. Yeah, I'm gonna give props where props are due, even though I've been slandering on that person for a bit. But ultimately, I don't know. I'm just so disappointed with the girls. Like, the mistrust with Renee for no reason. Like, I just think, especially, I don't know what the girls are thinking, but we'll get into that later.
How about you, Katie?
I mean, I think we knew even when we were doing our draft at the beginning of the season that we were hoping that the girls would work together, but we knew, we called it, that a man would come and ruin everything. And all it took was Ty being like, wow, this girl was really sad when she thought I was going to leave. So I guess I can trust her. It's like, what kind of like mental gymnastics are you playing? But it works on, what's her name?
Claudia.
Claudia. I called her Chelsea. I was like, literally, what's this girl's name? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it worked. So, I mean, it seems like they're now riding with each other. Shanae is riding with Dan. It's just like these girls. Isn't that, what is her name? Isn't it Nene?
No, it was crazy because you called her Nene last week, Josie, and then they called her that.
They were calling her all week.
Nene. I was like, hold on.
I got that from her. I got that
from
her. I didn't make that up, y'all. Anyways, I wish I did. I would love to take credit for it, but that would be a lie.
Okay.
I will say,
oh, go ahead.
I stan Kuzi. And I'm so glad that she's riding out this week. She's good. Everybody's fighting in the house. She's dancing in the storage room. Like, I'm just loving it. I'm loving every second of her.
Kuzi Giesling. Kuzi
Giesling.
It just hits the tongue properly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the comments, Joseph said, "Did you guys see Spicy V got Zach on her podcast?" I did. Did I watch it? Mm-hmm. I did not watch it yet. He's been ducking some podcasts and Twitter space and stuff. So, we'll see how that goes. But I will say this podcast will be very spicy next Saturday. Take that as you will. No, I didn't get to watch it. But it was crazy. I thought that we were just going to be spoiled. I was like, there's not going to be any more drama this season. Like, back-to-back weeks of fights. No way. and then this week obviously surprises us. This is, and I really do not want to go on about these dailies too long, but this week and last week really solidified for me that the dailies, I'm just not watching them anymore. Like, like unless it's for like RHAP, which because I'm going on there next week, but like I just don't care about the dailies anymore. Like they're really like not providing much context. Like we usually find out like who the HOH is, uh, nominees, and then that's about it. You get little sprinkles of game talk every now and then, but it's maybe like once, maybe twice a week at this point. The show is just showing me that I'm like, what's the point of watching these things at this point? So I don't know. I haven't really bothered.
You know what I feel like it's kind of like? I was thinking about this before when I was watching the episodes. Like when you go rewatch an old season, there's no
Yeah.
feeds on the old seasons, and they still give you something, like you can go back and watch Big Brother 10 and it's still really entertaining and enjoyable without feeds. Like that's kind of what this season feels like to me. Do I wish we had feeds to watch these fights in real time? Yes, I do. But you know what? It's still delivering and it's still really entertaining. Like the last couple of weeks have been really fun to watch. So thank you for this cast for saving what could have been a bottom of the barrel season without feeds, because they're still delivering some entertainment for us. So, it is what it is, but we're still having fun.
I will say when it comes to the digital dailies, one thing that I have appreciated are like the DR sessions, because sometimes also when I was watching feeds, I would be like, "Ugh, I don't really know if this is 100% truthful or not." But at least what's great about this show is that the DRs clarify a lot for where people are at in the game. And I feel like having these sessions, like these DR sessions where we hear about people's thoughts, is insane. I think it's almost better than the feeds. I just wish maybe they would ask more questions that would be more intriguing. Like, yeah, like asking Santina, if she was invisible HOH, what would she do? Like, hello, like we know she's invisible HOH. Ask her a different question. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it just I feel like tailor the questions a little bit more, like get it pumping, and honestly people will be fine with it. Finding out that Ty trusts Kuzi second the most after Claudia. Yeah, I was doing her little dance in the DR too. I was doing it. Hey, it was crazy. I was here for it. That's the type of information that I like to see, and that's why I'm okay with not receiving feeds. Anything irrelevant from the digital dailies, I personally will get it from a Twitter account and call it a day. Big shout out to those accounts. Love you.
BB
Yes.
extra. But
Yes,
no, I
BB
feel
Extra. Yeah, I
Yes.
gave a shout
Thank
out last
you
time, but
to
I'll
our
do it
Twitter
again.
friends, because that's what's
Yeah,
keeping me informed for sure.
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, we might as well go into it. So we can start with the twist. The twist this week, obviously, we spoke about it last week. Invisible HOH, Invisible Paymaster. Oh God, wrong game. Invisible HOH, Invisible Veto. It's been a week, but yeah, like it's interesting. So because we see Satino in it, I don't know if this is a popular opinion. I'm officially back on the Satina train. I'm
Well,
a
everybody is,
Satina
right? Didn't they
fan.
say? Didn't Canada save her?
I'm just
I
Isn't
mean,
saying
she
I
I'm a
saved this
voted.
week?
Satina fan. I'm not
I
from
actually voted
Canada.
to give her the Bel Air safety.
Okay.
So that's saying a lot. Like that's saying a lot.
Yeah. But Satina, I feel like she's redeemed herself. It doesn't necessarily mean she's working with the right people at all times. Doesn't mean she's necessarily making the best game decision. But she's messy, and I've learned to accept that. And I like messy players. I think that they make the house constantly entertaining, and I did not expect this week to be crazy, and Satina found a way to make it crazy. So I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, she gave us a fun week. I mean, she put up two really good nominations that just caused drama throughout the house. She got Renee spinning out of control. I don't think she did a great job of lying, but it didn't seem like that many people were onto her until the end of the week. So I thought it was a lot of fun. Just when she like was following Renee around the house and then was just like, well, at least we're not up. I'm saving Ty. I was like, this girl's doing so much, but it's just really, honestly, it's funny.
Shoot your shot, girl. Shoot your shot.
Shoot your
Like,
shot.
girl, please. Honestly, I was thankful to out of the choices that we had for HOH, mind you, because that competition was pure, just like
Yeah.
it was just like if you're intelligent enough to do the math, which surprised me because I'm like, hello. Obviously, there's at least 3 people who are gonna put 50K down. Why is your tiebreaker like answer being like
30K or whatever.
27,000. Like, be
Yeah.
serious. Like that to me is when I was just like, I feel like you guys aren't doing the math properly, and I feel like that kind of said a lot about some of the people's capacities to tap into the common sense. But regardless, out of all the choices we had, I would not have wanted Dan HOH. Forget that man. Goodbye, good riddance.
What a flop.
Then I would not have wanted Ty HOH at that point in time because Kuzi had just put him on the block. And Daniel C is horrendous. I'm sorry. There's no saving this man, in my opinion, at this point in time. Maybe in a week or two, I'll be like, oh my God, Daniel C's nation. But currently in this lifetime, on this live stream, this is how I feel. So I was very kind of like excited for Santina HOH, especially after what she was saying last week. And she provided exactly what she said she was going to do. She didn't flip-flop. She did it. However, I just feel like her gameplay is kind of like all over the place because like this was a great move, but I feel like she has no allies. Like I would love for her to like go to Kuzi and like build that relationship, even though like, you know, like Kuzi's a smart woman. Like, yeah, she's targeted, like she sees Santina's threat level, but I feel like Kuzi would work with her if like Santina put in the work. I feel like same thing with other people, like her saying like it could be Anika, it could be Renee in the middle of the house kitchen, like that alienates Anika. Like I just feel like we're doing a lot of moves to do moves, which makes sense, but we're not doing a lot of like, I don't know, like workshopping relationships to maintain this trust, except for with Jonathan, which I love to see because Jonathan will protect her in terms of the crown, but Jonathan is not enough. That's 5 people in the line. Jonathan is one voice. It's not enough. And that's not even the power source. Even the house guests are catching on. Kuzi's the source of like power. So yeah. I just wish she would do more with that. But she could have built trust with Kuzi and tell her she was HOH. Do you realize how sickening that would have been? There's just things that could have been done.
That would have been a good move. Yeah.
Done.
All right. So, you know, we can talk about, obviously, Santina, she uses her power, and she is going to be nominating at the beginning of the week, Ty and Dan. You know, there's a bit of confusion with who, you know, specifically nominated them. That there was trinklings that maybe it was Jonathan, trinklings that maybe it was Renee, and you know, I got a lot to talk about that one. You know, but obviously with Santina, I think Santina only told Jonathan. She only told Jonathan. Jonathan obviously is cool with Hope. Hope is actually kind of kickstarting the Crown Alliance, which we can actually get into right now. The Crown Alliance that has him, Jonathan, Kuzi, Daniel C, and Anika, and that's the group. And by extension, Santina is cool with Jonathan and Hope to a degree. So they're sort of working together, but not really. But how do you guys feel about the Crown Alliance that was formed this week?
I love this group. I felt like Anika and Kuzi having an alliance with Daniel was a good idea until Daniel really started showing his ass last week and continued to show his ass this week. But I feel like having Hope and Jonathan in the mix with them, it's just like, it's the perfect power dynamic. They have people who can win competitions. They have people who are good at the game. Anika is continuing to surprise me given her intro package. That's the main thing I'm going off of, where she was like, oh, we're gonna be. She's actually picked up the game and I think she's doing really well. And Hope as well is just like continuing to impress me with the way that he's talking about the game, because he really fooled me thinking that he was trying to go home and that he had no clue what was going on. And I really like this group. And Jonathan seems like a nice guy, and it seems like he will have their back. Obviously, he had their back as soon as Santina told him that she was HOH. He went and told them the whole plan. So it feels like this is a good core alliance in the house. And they're all people that you can root for, except maybe Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. We really do like you. We just had high hopes for you. And
I mean, well, he's not necessarily doing bad in the game.
Goodness gracious.
Is he doing well?
I'm gonna be honest. He's in the best spot in the entire house. He's in the Crown. He's in the Girly Pops by extension because they consider him a fourth. Ty's not targeting him. Ty's actually like not coming at him at all. I don't name one person in this house is even looking at Daniel C right now.
I didn't say that he's not in a good. I'm not saying like
I said that he's in the best position in the house.
However, yeah, he's in a bunch of alliances, but when that double comes, Daniel is so likely to go
Who's
home.
taking them out?
I'm sorry. If we're talking about someone who's in the best position in this house, it's not Daniel. I'm so sorry.
I
There's
I
no way
think
that
position
he's
wise,
in
he's the
alliance.
best in the house right
He's the
now.
Here's
last
the
one in
thing.
Girly Pops. He's the last
Yeah.
one in Girly Pops. He's the last one in the crown. Let's be serious. Yeah, he's in the shady bunch. But obviously, if we looked at some of the DRs, we heard that Kuzi knows that he's most likely to flip an alliance.
What's she
Like,
gonna do about it?
but that's
We'll
what I'm
see.
saying. If someone has doubt in you in the alliance, that means you're the most likely to go. I'm sorry, if I'm in an alliance with 5 people and I know that you're
I'm
more
just
likely to
saying,
flip, and
the
I'm
season before,
no,
the
because
person directly in the middle in
no,
both
no, 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 no.
alliances
Because
has
I
done
think
well.
Susie
I'm just
trusts Hope
saying.
more than she trusts Daniel C
Yeah.
at this point in time.
That's
And
true.
as I said, Kuzi is the leader in the house. Okay, so if Daniel does one thing and she feels like it's not giving what it's supposed to give, it's a swift kick and it's done. And
But
Well, and I think the problem with Daniel is
is
that 2
protecting
weeks in a row, he's been like, well, this is best for my game, and I don't care what's best for the alliance. It's best for my game. And Hope and everybody else was pushing back on him this week of taking Ty off the block. Last week, he wanted to vote for Daniel, and that Kuzi literally said like that, you're taking a shot against me if you vote to keep Zach. Like if he continues to do things like that, he's in a good spot now, but he very clearly cannot be relied upon as an alliance member because he's always putting himself and his game before everybody else, which you should, but like be a little more discreet about it.
But I mean, also in theory, like his idea of like, yo, let's like bury the hatchet with Ty, I think is going to pay dividends because you see who's the HOH this week. So it's like,
yeah.
granted, who's Ty taking a shot at this week if that deal isn't made?
I don't believe that edit. I'm gonna be honest. You know why? Do you know why? Because once we had again with the diary room sessions, Kuzi said she was talking about Ty, and she said that she doesn't like how cocky he is, blah, blah blah, that he act like he won the veto, blah blah blah, because she pulled the strings, and I 100% believe that over Daniel C. I'm sorry, yeah, like the edit can make it seem like da da da, but that's what I mean. We don't have the live feeds, but that diary room session, I'm 100%, 1,000 times, especially since Ty trusts Kuzi the second most. I believe that move is more Kuzi than Daniel, even if the edit wants to scream that it is him. I'm sorry. I'm not believing it.
I'm just saying.
I'm not giving credit where credit is due at this point in time. Like he has done so many, and that's what I mean. Like he isn't a good. If he could just stop talking about his inner thoughts,
right.
Like that is what the diary room is for. If he could stop doing that, I would 100% be like, oh, he's the one to look out for, blah blah blah. But every time this man opens his mouth to speak and does some things and blah blah blah, I'm like, why are you doing that? It's not that it's not logical. It's just that sometimes you don't have to speak all the time. Sometimes it's okay to just listen.
Just like do you and have your own plan in your head. And like you said, Josie, talk about it in the diary room. I just think that the fact that he's so open about like even just sitting in the bathroom with everybody in his lines being like, but this is better for my game. It's like, okay, you're telling 4 other people, 5 people, whatever, that you're putting your game above the collective group, which like I said, you should do that. But think that in your head and like try and figure out a way to finesse the situation so everyone's on board with what you want to do instead of just like putting your foot down and saying, this is what I'm doing because it's better for me. It just is kind of like, okay, well, when it comes down to it, and the alliance needs you to bail them out of a situation, are you going to do it or are you going to pick yourself over them? It's like, you're not really a trustworthy ally at that point. Also, Ty, I feel like changes with the wind, you know, like he wanted Dan out and then he was like close with Dan. It's like, you don't really know. He likes Claudia. He doesn't like Claudia. It's like, okay, maybe he's cool with Daniel C right now, but like in a week when he's cool with someone else, maybe he's not going to be cool with Daniel C.
That's actually to my opinion is that like this house is so fluid and this is a very chaotic cast. Just to bring up like the whole diary room segment, I mean, literally the last time we got these diary rooms, we also had Kuzi saying that like she trusts Ty the most in the entire house. Obviously that's changed since then, but like I think that's a prime example of like how things can flip on the dime. We thought Satina was toast looking back at last week, and like you see like that's changed. Renee went from probably one of the best spots in the house to like screwed, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like this is a very chaotic cast, and I think being in the middle where you know you have 2 big groups kind of going after each other isn't that bad, where the girly pops are going to need his vote, the crown is going to need his vote. Like, is he playing a winning game? I don't necessarily know. Is he going to be here for a long time? Yes. And do I think he's going to be in the best position for the rest of the season? I don't. But I think like and here's a comparison I've been seeing a lot. Big D. I don't think
No,
Daniel
he's
is
not Big D
anywhere
at
close
all.
to Big D. He's way better than Big D.
Yeah.
I think that he's
Yeah.
like right now he's guaranteed to make
He won a
jury.
comp already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's guaranteed to make jury. I think that he's going to make like final 7, final 6 easily right now. Do I think he's winning? I don't know. Can he win a jury vote? I don't think it's crazy. Like I'm not saying he's the best player. I just think as of right now, the 7th of April, I think he's in the best spot. So, that can change in 24 hours. But I do agree with you guys. Like his flaw of like talking out loud, like he needs to cut that out. Like, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? But I still think that he's in like the best position right now.
I did want to talk because initially we were talking about the crown and our reactions. I just wanted to say real quick that I'm so glad that a Newfoundlander is backing the people of color. I'm sorry, I did jump. Yeah. Like for once we have the nation of Newfoundland backing us because Jonathan is the man. I'm so excited for once that I can rock with the Acadiens and call it a good time because Jonathan is on our side with the Crown Alliance. His name, come on. You know how Canadians, especially over there, they love the crown. They love the crown. And by the crown, I mean the UK. But ultimately, regardless, I am so excited about this alliance. I'm jumping. I'm excited. I'm liking this. I'm hoping that it sticks strong together. I do see like the divide between Hope, Jonathan, and then the Shady Bunch. But ultimately, for my girl Kuzi specifically, this is a Kuzi stand account. This is the only person I've given my stand card 100%. She can do no wrong in my eyes at this point in time. So yeah, I love this alliance, and I am a royal servant. Yes, God.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Like I think it was 2-3 episodes ago where like y'all were looking at me crazy for saying Jonathan was in a pretty good spot, but like I feel a little
Was
validated.
I here? I don't remember.
Yeah, you guys are both here. You guys are both here. But
I missed a week. I don't remember.
I'll have to
He
screen
wasn't
record
in a good
it. I was
spot 2 weeks ago. He wasn't.
I said that he was going to be in a great spot, and I feel that it was. I remember specifically. It was the end of the podcast, and I was like, "Who does everyone think is in the best spot in the game?" And I said, "Jonathan." I think Jonathan
he wasn't
could.
Though.
And
he wasn't 2 weeks.
I'm just
ago.
looking. I'm like, he's in a pretty good spot right now. I feel validated with, my take. So I'm just glad to hear that. But, so I guess we can move on. So I do want to talk about the girly pops where I feel like they really fumbled such a good position that they had.
Idiot.
Like,
Total
it
idiots.
was like they were in the middle. I think that all they had to do was rock out and not really take a side, and like they are just so off the same page. Like Shania obviously got boy crazy with Dan. Claudia, who I think she's still a really smart player, and she could make something happen. But she definitely got like tunnel vision with Ty,
Ty's
and
nipples hypnotized.
yeah, like. And she definitely fumbled the Kuzi connection. I feel like where the girls are kind of still pretending to like work together, but I don't really see like Kuzi or Claudia having those important conversations anymore. And then Renee, I think Renee has the right read, but Claudia and Shania don't want to really do what she's suggesting. We saw in the episode that she was kind of being like Claudia did not want to work with Renee, like even threw her as an option as maybe going out at some point. Ty really doesn't want Renee in the game. So, it's not looking too good for Renee, but how do we feel about the girly pops right now?
It just feels crazy to me that they turned on each other so quickly. Like the fact that they thought it was Renee, that was a secret issue. It's just like, guys, let's just like rub 2 brain cells together. Please just do that for me. Just do that for me. And then like these men are not here for you. They're not going to protect you. You guys need each other, but they're not serious. That's the problem, is that they're not serious about playing this game. They're not serious about winning. They are here for their showmances. Like we said, like we thought they were going to be in the draft, and we were right. They showed us a glimmer of hope over the first couple of weeks, and they've just fumbled it all away. Like that's all. Claudia just wants to lay around and hold Ty's hand like they're 12 years old. And I don't know what Shania's doing. I mean, she liked Rob, and now she liked Dan. Both of her men are gone. She's only been on the show for like 5 minutes total. So it's just like, I don't really know what's going on there. Renee really is the only one that has any leg to stand on of like game sense. And I do still like her relationship with Hope. Like I think that they have a good friendship, but I just don't really, she just seems like an easy an easy nom and an easy vote out one week when she's up against someone that no one else wants to go. Eventually, her time is going to come.
Girls'
I mean,
alliances do not work in 2023. I'm just saying. Maybe
Sad.
BB25 will change our minds, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
here's how I feel about the girly pops. I feel like it's very much high school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe this is a little too niche, but have you ever seen those friend groups of girls who, when two out of the three of them get a boyfriend, all of a sudden it's like that third one is just like a wannabe or like doesn't fit in anymore because she doesn't have a boyfriend or
Yeah.
whatever. That's how I feel like this alliance is. Truly and honestly, like it's actually ridiculous. They had such a good thing going, and I think the Thai brainwash is powerful. Claudia is sipping the Kool-Aid. It's ridiculous because before she was all tight with them, she had trust. Now all of a sudden, Ty's been pushing this. I want Renee out. I want Renee out. And all of a sudden, Claudia's like, I don't trust Renee. I think Renee's the HOH. Blah blah blah. Like what? Like you guys are supposedly in an alliance. Like this entire season, we've been pushed a few alliances, and you three being one of them has been one of the most pushed. So I just think that like it's ridiculous for her to be like, oh, she would put me up if she was HOH. Like she probably wouldn't have. And your lack of
No.
trust because of the Thai Kool-Aid, I really don't think it's anything else. Like her reactions. Like everyone is reacting. The only people who are confirmed non HOHs are the people who could not participate, as in um
Hope and Kuzi.
Hope and Kuzi, which kind of went into Hope's favor, by the way. Like I know that was supposed to be a punishment, but I feel like it gave him really some good grace.
Yeah.
Anyways,
If you can't participate in one HOH, this is the HOH
this
that
is the
you
one
don't
you
want to
don't want to
participate in,
participate.
because then you could
Yeah,
just be like, you know, it's not me. So yeah.
and no one's gonna trust you less.
Yeah.
So it's just ultimately, I just feel like I think Claudia's been brainwashed. I think Shania kind of just does what the majority says, in my opinion, from what I've seen. That's why I think we haven't seen a lot of her because she's not making the decisions. Like, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm just going off of what we've been shown. So
Mhm.
ultimately, yeah, I just think it was really ridiculous. The girly pops are like in shambles like this. Like, I'm telling you, it just takes one man to come in and ruin something. Like it's ridiculous. Like I'm so shocked by how, especially Claudia, like Claudia going around acting like she's all game, like she knows what's up. Like anyone with common sense would know that Renee wouldn't do that to you. Like
I
that's so
mean,
ridiculous. Like putting Ty and Dan as sure. You going up afterwards, like anyone with common sense would know that.
was it the guy or was it the girl? Because I feel like it's the other way around.
No, I think Ty came in. When Ty was like, "I'm gonna quit. No, 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 I'm a man. I'm all about integrity." No, no, no. And she was in shambles. Oh my god, I can't. I think she realized she liked him more than she would like to admit, and that's when
Yeah.
it got really personal.
I
I think that's
mean,
when she was like, "Oh my god, I really like him." Blah blah blah. I trust him. Blah blah. And that bonded them. That stupid situation bonded them.
And Zach is gone, and that was his
And
number
Zach is
one. So
gone.
there's a spot
So
for her to sneak right into
bro,
that
but
number one spot.
exactly. So I
from
think
what
I
I'm
think I think what happened is that Ty and her have been probably spending one of the most times together,
Yeah.
aside from Ty and Dan S. But even then, I think Dan S was with Shania the entire
Yeah.
time, so who knows? And I think what happened was that paranoia, how he feels about Renee, rubbed off on her a lot, and then she started, because she cares about him so much, she's making him more of an integral part of her game than necessary. And I think because of that, those conversations constantly happening amongst them two when they are talking game, I think that's kind of like she's kind of like being biased and like shifting her game in that sense. So obviously I can't just blame it on Ty because she has her own mind. Like she's not an idiot. She's an individual. She like has a brain, but I think she's taking too much of the Ty Kool-Aid and thinking she needs to do all that for him. Like it's too much.
well, I mean, also to be fair, I feel like this was bound to happen at some point because Renee always wanted Dan out, and Dan and Shania were locked in for it seems like a lot that we weren't seeing. So I feel like that's also even before Ty was always going to be a problem. And I mean, even just to throw it on that, we're hearing a lot of these people saying that Zach was probably going to stay if he did not quit. Like a lot of these people, post and pre, apparently are saying that they were going to keep Zach to send Satina home. So even if Zach didn't quit, it seems like Claudia and Shania and all of them were
Well,
heavily
Santina has no
concerned for them to
friends.
do.
Who's
I
Santina?
don't
I mean,
believe
Josie,
that.
you said it before, but like,
That's what I'm
who
saying.
it has Santina's back? She thinks Jonathan, but that's it. No one else in the house trusts Santina at all. Maybe Hope a little bit, but like, I don't know. Of course, I really do think Zach would have been maybe given like the temperature of the house last week and everybody fighting and getting mad at Zach, like that could have swayed some votes, I think. So it would have been close. But like, if it were the week before or this week and Zach was still there, like Santina definitely would have gone home over Zach.
I don't think so. I really don't. I think people are saying like I would have voted Santina out because they need someone now to target. In my humble opinion, I think that's what's happening. I don't think at that point in time, yeah, like the girls were listening, but what we were getting from the DRs was that Claudia was gonna vote to evict Zach. That's why he walked. If he knew he had the votes to say, he would have stayed. That's exactly why he left. He didn't leave because I couldn't deal with the integrity anymore. He said it verbatim. If I know that I have the votes, I will stay. If not, I'm gonna walk away. That's what happened.
I just think things could have changed leading up to the vote. Like, I don't think it was a sure thing that he was going. I think it was close.
For sure. I think it was
think
up
so
in the air, but like basically because he left at that point in time, which was I think the night before, and the evictions take place early afternoon. Like as much as we want to call it a live eviction, it's not live. So ultimately, he knew that it wasn't going to change in a matter of hours, even though he was working on it forever. So I really don't think that he was like gonna stay. I think it would have been a close vote, but I don't think he would have stayed. And I think now people, because Santina's back, like here, and then people think she's HOH. Everyone's saying like I would have voted to evict her because it's the easy thing to say. But we didn't have a vote, so that's the scapegoat everyone's using. Like that's bullshit. Like that's not true. Like for people to believe that, like it would be ridiculous and dumb.
Well, now we have a preset question to start asking some people when we do our exit press. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So outside the girly pops, we also looking into it. We have Ty now. Ty this week. He's been struggling to survive. Daniel C. He wins veto. He and the rest of the crown kind of come to a mutual agreement. They're going to veto Ty off, basically because they're sending Dan home anyway. They're like, look, let's veto Ty off to like kind of build some kind of bond, kind of cut him a deal. We save you. You look out for us. Don't nominate X, Y, and Z. And we're just gonna throw someone else up. Obviously, Ty is vetoed, and we see Claudia go up in his place. The vote is pretty straightforward. Dan is out of here. Before Dan even leaves, we do see some friction because people are starting to figure out who this invisible paymaster. Oh my God! Again, this invisible HOH is. People are kind of pointing the finger at Satina. Satina is not budging, so it's really bad. We had another toxic fight this week. It was great television, but did Satina handle her HOH well? Like how do we feel about this? What's going on?
When I was watching her and Ty and Dan fight with each other, I was like, I don't really know who I'm rooting for here, but I'm rooting for no one but all of them at the same time, because like Ty and Dan were right and Santina just like could not clear herself. Like she was just acting really suspicious, and I feel like they were like, why aren't you trying to figure it out? She's like, that's for you guys. And I'm like, this is like such a bad response. I don't know. It was just wild to me. But like Anika came in, she got into it, and she was like, oh, she walked downstairs. I don't know. The whole thing was a mess, but
she likes to get in a fight.
I like it. I love it. I don't know. It was a mess.
I love Anika. I love when Anika comes out and she starts talking, and it's the accent for me. Like when she gets into it and the accent's clear as day, like it makes my day. I'm like, yes, get into her. Like I love Anika. I love when Anika gets a little into it. Like I love it. But yeah, I think Santina was the move correct, because at this point in time, I think she realized how shitty allies Ty was to her, and by extension Dan S, but not really, like whatever. I think she knew that.
Well, Dan S put her. He put her up? No, she put him.
He put him up. Then he didn't put her up.
Right. Yes.
I'm gonna get into Dan S in a second because woo, child.
This guy's a clown.
But ultimately, I think she did the right move for her. Like she already had people who she didn't trust. Like it was obvious. Like why put up other people and make more enemies? Like that wouldn't make sense for her game. However, I think what she did horrible is how she went and like didn't secure relationships with her HOH. I think her telling Jonathan was a great move, but I think she could have told one more person
Yeah.
or
I
two
wouldn't have
other
done that.
people. I think so because when you have a secret like this is the big secret of the week. If someone tells you a secret, you automatically feel like, oh, they trust me enough to tell me the secret, which warrants like you almost become a little bit more open minded to the idea of like, okay, well, this person clearly has trust in me, so I can trust them. I can work with them because I know that they have trust in me. Like I think her just going around and saying, I'm not HOH, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not telling she should have screamed from the rooftop that she was HOH. But if she would have went and like secured something with Kuzi, like maybe I'm biased, whatever. But Kuzi, like, she would have done those exact moves anyways. She literally told Ty, literally days before, you are going home next. Like, she would have done the exact same.
Mhm.
Like, it makes sense. Like, if she would have revealed that secret, I think it would have given her trust, and she would have been able to move the game and be a little bit more fluid. Because right now, I don't think she's in a fluid position at all. I think now Ty's going after her. Claudia's pissed and she thinks like either her or Renee, so they might as well like she might as well put her up on the block too with Renee on the side and call it a day, kind of like a tie HOH. Anyways, like I think she should have done more to secure more relationships, and I think that was the only way is to leverage that secret a little bit.
Mhm.
Whether you agree with that idea or not, I think that's what I would have done because she has to me no allies but Jonathan, and Jonathan is one person out of a house. Like she is a very good victim of the double or the triple. Like I don't know if they're gonna do a double this season because
So many
Tiny
people are
got
gone.
blocked,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
which is unfortunate. But the a victim of a triple, yeah, yeah. If
I
she
just
can't,
feel like she came out of it in a worse spot than she went into the week. Like she came out of the week feeling like, oh, maybe I really was a pawn. Zach was the target. Zach did her a favor by walking out and leaving. There was no vote, so nobody knew who was going to vote for who. So she was in a decent spot. She felt like maybe she could have and should have solidified, like we talked about earlier, and like you brought up, Josie, solidified the relationship with Kuzi and at least like maybe squashed it and just been like, all right, we have a truce. Like we'll work, you put me up, whatever, it's fine. Like let's just work together moving forward and call it a day. She didn't really do that from what we saw. And yeah, like she didn't put Kuzi on the block, which she could have done as revenge, but she didn't tell Kuzi she was HOH and say like, I could have put you up, but I didn't. So she's kind of coming out of it in a worse spot because people are looking at her like they can't trust her, like she's a liar. Renee now can't stand her, and Ty has an issue with her. DNS is obviously gone, but is Nene gonna be mad on behalf of her man Dan S? I don't know. Like it just feels like she's not in the best position right now, and I agree with you. She could have leveraged it a little more or made some deals or something.
and also, even if people don't agree with the idea of leveraging it, Jonathan ended up leveraging it for her.
Yeah,
Like
Jonathan got the
it made
benefit.
people trust Jonathan more
Yes.
than the HOH herself. Like, let's be serious. There is no way, unless this person is your ride or die day one, like insane, like very much like this. There's no way a secret HOH is being kept a secret
Yeah.
from just one person. If you tell one person, you might as well tell another person. If the most of the house knows that at that point in time, then cool. Like even if people found out that she was a secret HOH, right? It wouldn't have mattered because one of the people she put up was going to go home,
Right.
and everyone else who wasn't going to be put up on the block, like let's say a Renee situation, they wouldn't have had the Renee fight. She could have talked to Renee, even if like, oh, like people would have felt appreciated. Oh, you didn't put me on the block, but instead because she was defending herself, going crazy ape shit, like people are now mad at her for like being like, well, you threw my name down there in the kitchen when it wasn't me, da da da. Like that's what I mean. Like it's just I think leveraging, even though it's like secret and not like whatever, like leveraging it is the best way. It just keeps, as much as I love the chaos and the drama, it just keeps things a little bit more minute. You have two
Yeah.
people who are already assuming it's you anyways. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like she went around and was so bold about like, Ty's my boy. I'm gonna veto Ty. I can't wait to play this veto and veto Ty. It's like, okay, clearly it's you. You put him up. You're trying to do damage control. It's just like it just didn't do what she thought it was doing. It feels like to me, and especially to follow Renee around and just be like, oh well, at least we're not on the block. I'm gonna save Ty. It's just like, okay, you're being extremely obvious that it's you. Also, I mean, maybe this is more like just from watching the traders and then just like hearing Dan talk about her like everybody's facial expression. She didn't even pretend to be surprised. She didn't pretend. I'm like, I feel like if I were there, I would look at her face and she looked like she knew everything that was going to happen. It just, and granted that could be editing, but it just doesn't feel like she was even trying to pretend like she didn't know who was going on the block.
If you're not a good liar, then don't lie. Like that's
yeah, and don't lie as much as she's lying. Just say nothing. Just say nothing. She did a lot.
In the game of Big Brother, like as much as people are like, I'm gonna lie, cheat, and steal, and like, yes, please do that. Like that's the point of the game. Sometimes you don't always have to lie, because when you always have to lie and you're not a good liar, it makes you look dumb as well. Yeah. Like Santina is not a good liar. She could have just been neutral and just not said anything, and she wouldn't have said anything instead of making a spectacle out of it. I think it would have been more relaxed, because people thought initially from the jump it was Renee. Like people thought from the jump, oh, she's doing too much. That was what Dan has said.
Just let her think it. Just let everybody think it's Renee.
Neutral. Like the whole like, as long as it's not me attitude is a normal attitude to have, but like at the end of the day, like also there should be paranoia. Oh my God, I hope that as much as like the POV, whatever, I wouldn't have wanted to be thrown up as a backdoor. If she would have said something like that.
Yeah, she should have said that. Not, I hope I win it to take down Ty. Just say, I hope I win it so I don't go up on the block. Like, I don't know who the HOH is. I don't want to go up on the block, so I'm going to try and win it for myself. I hope I get picked to play so I can win, so I can be safe. But instead, she made it all about Ty, which it's like, well, you're not safe either if you're not the HOH, so.
Exactly.
Okay. So, lastly, we can, I got 2 more points I want to talk about, but Dan, obviously he is eliminated. Not the best week. I think Santina made it blatantly obvious, or not. I'm sure many people are asking questions like this, but she was like, "If you were HOH, would you tell me?" He was like, "No." And she was like, "Would you nominate me?" He was like, "Oh, he
what's wrong with this man?" Oh, okay.
And then he got mad at her, for being like, "Oh, you wouldn't save me?" Like, shut the Dan. Anyways, keep going, Isaiah. I'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. The last thing that Joseph said in the chat, he is officially our first juror. So I think we're about to have a jury of 9. Wow, this is like week 5, and we're already at the jury phase.
They did the HelloFresh thing, and they were like, we're officially halfway through the season. I was like, isn't this literally like week 4 or 5? Like, it just feels so short.
Yeah, because so many people walked away.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah. We're gonna have a short season this year. It's crazy, but I mean, look, I'm okay with it. I'm enjoying my time. Okay. But how do you feel about Dan?
I feel like Dan has been a mess the whole time. Like when he put Renee up on the block and was like, "Yeah, you're my target." It's like, dude, she could very likely stay here. So why are you speaking to her this way? The same thing this week. He didn't know if he was going to be the target or not. He didn't know if Santina was the HOH or not. So it's like, why are you saying I wouldn't have told you? Just say, yeah, I would tell you if I was HOH. Like, it's not me. Like, I want to build a relationship with you. I would have told you. I would have used it to gain your trust or whatever. He didn't do that. He said he would have probably not saved her or whatever, not put her up on the block or whatever. And then later on, it's just he kept getting into fights with her because he's like, would you save me? Would you want to save me? Would you put me up? Would you put me up? And she's like, we already had a conversation. And I actually agree with her, as he didn't give her anything. So why would she say no, I wouldn't target you? He gave her no reason to say that. So, I mean, he played Zach's game. It got him in a position where no one wanted to work with him. He put all of his eggs in Zach's basket, and he's now the one going home because people, at least Ty, has more influence in the house where, yeah, he was working really closely with Zach, but he also was part of the decision-making with Zach, where Dan was just a follower. So no one cares. He's just collateral damage. Dan can go. Nobody cares. No one felt tied to him except for Shania. So it's just, yeah, he played a pretty terrible game.
It's kind of crazy that both people who Zach controlled their HOHs got into a fight this week too. I thought that was crazy.
That is funny. That is funny.
Josie, did you have something you wanted to say?
Do I have something I want to say? Maybe. What do I not want to say? Yeah. Honestly, why was he here? What was it? Why was he here? The gameplay atrocious. I saw a tweet on the timeline by The Spicy V with a picture of her and Dan S in a group of people. I said,
Yeah, they're
"You
friends.
knew him and he played like this?"
Hmm.
Like, girl, what? Like, did we not give him a prep talk beforehand? I don't know. I was just like, the gameplay this season, absolute zero.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was never good socially, like in the house, from like what I've got, the information we've gathered from exits and digital dailies, whatever. So he wasn't good socially in the first place. He wasn't well insulated. Then you get, he gets put up on the block, cool. Then he makes an enemy out of Renee for no reason, even
No
though
reason.
target wasn't even really Renee. He's like, yeah, well, like if my plan A doesn't go well, Renee will go. But don't say she's your target. Like that's just basic Big Brother 101. Flop, terrible. Then also you get the prime opportunity of saving yourself some blood from your hands. And you went and you decided to not put the person who put you up the week before, making the whole cast confused.
Yep.
Everyone was like, why wouldn't he put her up? Why wouldn't he put her up? It was just like everyone expects you to do this. Week 2, when everyone expects you to do something, it's okay to do it. Like it's okay. It's okay if those people are your pawns. It's okay. Like no one's gonna get mad at you. But when you start doing stuff that don't make sense, people are putting you as a wild card, saying they can't trust you on a week 2 HOH. Be serious. Be serious. Horrible gameplay. Then you get here, we had this beautiful conversation between the two HOHs, but were just used in the past 2 weeks in the washroom, talking about Zach, like he used my HOH, blah, blah. You come into the realization that Zach also used your HOH. You said it yourself in the DR. You said it. And instead of waking up and making something shake, you sit there and let it ride to the point where the following week, when Kuzi's HOH, you make an enemy out of her because you start talking and chippering and like being on his defense and blah blah blah. They're using you like as a point of reference, blah blah blah. Oh, we were just telling him about how Hope was breaking a rule, getting involved when you shouldn't be. Like it, like horrible.
Meanwhile, Zach and Ty were trying to get Dan out anyway.
Anyways, like these people do not even trust you. The one person who has your back, like this person is we don't even see on screen, so we don't even know what the hell's going on. Like it's just horrible down bad it boots. Like it was just it was atrocious gameplay week 3. So we get to week 4. The HOH is a tie-breaking vote, and you think it's Santina, and you want to go ahead and drag her in the kitchen? She is the tie-breaking vote. Shut up. Just be on your best behavior. Sit down. Act like cute and comfy. Ty is already like Ty is a big threat. He gets saved. Okay, then you go for his number 2. You put that. You talk about showmances. Let's not be stupid. If I sat here and named you every single Big Brother Canada showmance, most of them have made it top 5. Most of them. That's ridiculous. Jillian and Emmett, crazy. Final 3, I think. Final 3, final 4, I forget. Like season 2. Like even though they dated afterwards outside the show, they still were too bonded together. Netta and John, like season 3, like I can keep going and going and going and going and going. Like this is the perfect time to talk about it. And now it's already too late because now when you campaign to people and you go, I just realized week 4 when my HOH was week 2 that I was used by his sack and I was doing thing blah blah and I was just people are like, you're dumb. Kuzi said it. She said, like, he's dumb. Like, if he's just not realizing that he was a pawn, I don't want to work with him. Like, you're making yourself look like a fool. That, like, the campaigning is horrible. I'm actually mind blown. And, like, seeing that Victoria tweet after all of that, it was like, good riddance. Goodbye. Yeah. I am so curious what is going on in that mind. If you have questions for Dan S., please let us know because we are still doing exit press with him. I definitely have my questions. I don't understand his gameplay. And some people aren't meant to win Big Brother, and I believe Dan S is one of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Even when he was talking to Ty about winning the veto, he was like, man, this is like the worst thing for us. If you didn't win, I didn't win. I'm like, you shouldn't want Ty to win. Go figure out who won and get them to use it on you. Why do you want Ty to win? Because Ty's going to take himself off and you don't know who's going to be up next to you. Like, go get someone, figure it out between Daniel C. I mean, obviously, if it was Claudia, she wouldn't use it on him anyway. But like, I don't know. It's just
The
wild
game sense
to
wasn't
me.
there. He was meant
No.
Dan was meant to be the comp beast, one of the comp beasts this
Yeah.
season, and he did not do what was required for him to do, and that's
Yeah.
why we see him as the first jury member because he could not pull the comps. Everyone was expecting him to pull out the comps, and that's it. And I'm sorry, to be a good Big Brother player, to be a winner of Big Brother Canada, you need to have at least two of the three,
Yeah.
and that's strategy, gameplay, and competition wins. And because you just because you have the competition wins doesn't mean people are going to vote for you to win the winner of this season. Be serious. I'm sorry, it's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
No. This is also another good question to ask them. Would Dan have gotten as far if it wasn't for the walkout? I think that's another thing that we could ask. But yeah, we actually do talk to Dan on Monday. They pushed interviews back this week, so you should be able to see our interview with Dan on Monday. So keep a lookout for that. But lastly, we have Ty. So Ty is now, as I mentioned, the new HOH of the week. I did not get to fully watch the dailies. I did, skim a little bit, but we do understand that Ty wants to get revenge. We don't know if that means for the Zach week. We don't know if that means for last week, but he wants to get
No.
revenge for something. Interesting.
I think he has to realize now at this point that Zach was not good for his game because Zach was so polarizing. I think Ty does definitely have a bad attitude, but not like Zach did. Like he has a more quiet bad attitude. Zach was like loud about like just being super arrogant. So I think Ty actually could probably fly a little more under the radar now with Zach not in the house making such a spectacle out of everything. So he has to realize this is a good thing, especially now that he has Claudia firmly on his side, because again, Zach isn't there to turn everybody off. I just think, I think the easy route here is Santina and Renee. You can't figure out who was the secret HOH that put you on the block. Put them both up. You're HOH. Unless Santina's safe from Bel Air Canada. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually a point I wanted to raise, the Bel Air Canada situation, because I think why I was really hesitant to vote for Santina, ultimately I did. But the reason why I think I was really hesitant too is because I'm like, if Santina is safe, who goes on the block? Is it Kuzi? Because that makes me nervous. But ultimately, he's saying that that's his number two in trust. Dan S is gone, so I think he needs more allies than he needs enemies right now. So I'm hoping that Kuzi's actually really good and safe. I don't think he's putting up Daniel C. So it'll be interesting. I don't know
Could
if
be Anika.
it could be Anika, it could be Hope, it could be
Could be
Jonathan.
Renee.
I no,
Well, I
Renee.
think Renee
I
is a
think Renee is
lock as
definitely one
one.
of them. But who's
Yeah.
the other one? If Santina's safe is my question.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if someone wins POV and someone gets taken off, who's after that? Like this week is kind of a, like the perfect recipe for disaster. Honestly, if Santino wins Bel Air Directs, because that's the only person, and I think she
Yeah.
did. And I think she did because even I casted my vote for her. So
Then
I think
it's going to firmly be Jonathan, I feel like, then, right?
Jonathan, I could see him putting up Shania
Jonathan and
as an
Renee.
easy vote, like as an easy
I
person
don't
up on
think
the
Claudia's
block.
going to let him do that,
I
though.
don't know if Claudia has any influence over this man whatsoever, and I think she
Okay.
chooses him now over the girls anyway. So I don't think her opinion is really going to matter.
yeah.
They
So
feel like. Oh, God, I'm sorry.
yeah, so sorry, I just wanted to finish my point real quick. So ultimately, I think this week is a recipe for disaster. I'm very nervous, very scared. I also, I don't know, like I'm interested to see what Ty's gonna do gameplay wise because already people think he's arrogant. Apparently, after he won the HOH, he made a comment which does not surprise me because even when I called her Coochie. Oh my god,
We're messing up a lot this week, man. We're messing up a lot this day.
when Guzzi wins HOH, he makes a comment. So I can't imagine when he wins his own HOH what he's saying. But apparently the comment he said rubbed both Kuzi, Daniel C the wrong way as well, maybe even Anika. So
and we don't know what it was.
I think it could have been ball up or something or easy or I don't know. I don't know what he said, but it doesn't surprise me that Ty is arrogant. Like
No.
I think him having HOH can also cause HOH like itis like no one's business. And I think this will be horrible for his gameplay if he goes around and acts like he owns shit and blah blah blah. And it's just the beginning of the week. Like we have literally, you guys, we have 6 more days of a Ty HOH. It can go to hell very quickly. And I don't think Ty is very self-aware enough to dial it back, to try and humble himself, even though he's HOH. I think he's gonna think people have to come to me, people have to do this for me. When ultimately you have to show grace to the other house guests, and they have to feel like, oh my god, like I can work with you moving forward. And I don't think Ty has that mindset. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this week goes.
I think last week was a good week for Ty because Zach was gone. There was a secret HOH. It kind of like put him in a position where he could be on the defensive and it would be okay. Like I don't think his attitude did anything to harm him. I think it actually probably put him in a better position. It seemed like he was getting some trust with, he was gaining trust with Daniel C. Maybe, it seemed like things were smoothed over with Kuzi. I think him being HOH directly after that, I think his arrogance, like you said, Josie, I think it could be really bad for him. And I think it could put the spotlight back on him depending on what he does with it. But I do think, and I hope that if Hope goes up on the block, if Kuzi goes up on the block, or if Anika goes up on the block, like they should have, unless they're up against each other, which I don't think that there's a scenario where they would be, because I really do think Renee is a lock for one of the nominations. He's been trying to get rid of Renee since like week 1. There's no way he's not putting her on the block. I feel like she's probably not going to win the veto, and I don't think she has enough social like capacity in the house or social connections in the house to get someone to take her off, unless it's like Shania. So and even them, I don't know what the deal is with them. So I think she's probably going to be the one going this week. As long as Kuzi or Hope or Nika is not up against, they're not up against each other, they have the numbers to stay. So they should be good. But I agree with you. I think it could be a little messy this week.
I kind of want to ask you, Isaiah, do you think Ty should have won this HOH? Honestly, thinking about it, I don't think he should have. Like,
I don't think so either.
I think he should have won POV more than HOH. I think the following week, if someone would have put him up, he would have had at least 3 options for 2 nominations and a backdoor if he was put on the block again a week. Because I think he has the ability.
I feel like he should have won it because, I mean, let's be real. I feel like despite him being good with anybody, he's almost guaranteed to go on the block regardless. Like, he's just an auto nom at that point. Like, who's not going to put him up? Like, Claudia?
I don't think Kuzi would have put him up.
Thrown it to Claudia.
Just Kuzi with that smoke.
Daniel C wouldn't have put him up.
Daniel wouldn't have did it. I don't think. Yeah, I mean,
I think throwing it to Daniel actually probably would have been the best decision.
He probably threw it himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think the top 3 in that competition were Hope, Claudia, and Ty.
You should let Claudia win it,
but
with Hope there, but with Hope there, he probably was like, you can't. You don't want Hope, even though you guys are on good terms, to take out Claudia's side because that's also sort of a side for you, right?
Are they on good terms though? I think on the surface, yeah. But Hope said, like, Ty is like fire. You touch it once, you don't touch him again. Yeah, like so. And I love that from Hope, by the way, because like I don't want Hope to feel like he is in a good position with Ty because he should know better. They tried to get him disqualified. So yes, do the right thing, smooth it over publicly, and like let him think it's smooth. But I'm happy that Hope is keeping that in the back of his mind. That just shows me that Hope has a lot more game sense than he let on in the beginning. And like last week, I was thinking like, did this stuff that he said like in the diary room about this all being fake and him pretending to want to go home, is it real? But now I feel like it is real because I feel like the way we saw him talking this week, he was doing pretty well for himself. So I believe him. I hope Hope is okay. That's the one thing that I really do like Hope. So I hope he gets to stay this week and doesn't get on the
You over here rapping today. It's crazy.
I mean, like, what else can you say? It's his name, but I really have a lot of hope for Hope. I don't know.
I hope Hope stays.
I do.
I hope he stays another day.
Yeah, I hope like not to do that again.
I know, like, well, I can't think of another word to say now.
If we find out on Tuesday evening that the final 2 was between Claudia and Ty, I'm gonna say that Ty did a really dumb move in not throwing it, in my opinion. Like he's already a big target. Winning another competition just reminds people of that. Like, I don't know. I'm
especially like, when he can't keep it together. Like, just stop talking.
Yeah, like, ooh, child. Like, I feel like the ego and the HOH-itis will be on. And
we have to see what Summer said when she was on the podcast. Hope has the HOH room now. Is he gonna have sex with Claudia and just completely mind warp her? Because
Oh, Jesus, I literally forgot
Not
about that.
mine.
Oh, it's over.
I
It's
mean,
it's
over.
look,
over. It's
look.
already.
I
It's been
mean,
over. It's gonna be even more over once they
over.
have no feeds in that HOH room by themselves.
Oh, it's over.
I mean,
It's
look.
over.
If we're gonna be honest, look. Outside of Satina, everyone else is in the group. So like, once Satina's out the picture, it's all out war. You got the crown. You got the girly pops. Plus Ty, sorta, because Renee and Ty don't mess with each other, and then like that's it. There's like literally no one else to like hide behind. Like it's
Maybe
about to
this
be an
was
all out war.
I feel like the
So
girly pops are over.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I feel like they're still working together because but like they're like hesitant to work
Yeah, they
with
don't
each
have any
other.
trust.
I think Renee's screwed. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
think
I do
so
think
too.
she's screwed too.
I
But
think she's out this week.
honestly, if
Yeah.
you when you put it like that, Isaiah, I kind of think this week's the week to take the shot. Like, yeah,
that's why I think Ty. It's a good week for Ty to win. Like
but I don't think he will take the shot. That's the thing. I don't think he will.
he's
I
talking
think
like he
Claudia
wants to
could've.
make a
I
big
think
move.
if Claudia won HOH, I think someone from the crown could have definitely gone home. That's
I
crazy.
think Ty needs to take a shot if someone's coming at him. So either Renee or Satina is a successful week for him personally.
Yeah, but when he says he wants to make a big move, like that might be a big move for him, but that's not
Not
a big
big
move for
move,
the game.
revenge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
I mean, I think it's a fantastic move for him. I think Renee and Satina both. Satina's a comp threat, and
Correct.
Renee
Yeah.
is literally like pumping 24 hours a day in people's minds. We need to get Ty out. Is it successful? No, but like that's a vote and someone
I think
who's on
Renee
your
is out of
back.
here this week. Yeah.
She needs to go. Like if I'm Ty, Renee needs to leave. Or
Yeah.
well, Satina, but if Satina's not safe, if Satina's safe, Renee's the next best thing. But Satina needs to go.
Okay, so are we thinking it's gonna be a Jonathan / Renee POV moment, like on the initial nomination? Sorry.
I think he'll flat out just nominate the people who he's starting by. Like I don't see him backdooring anybody unless necessary. I think he's just going to put Satina and Renee up flat if he can.
I think
Claudia
he's gonna
seems like she's
follow
okay with it.
director.
Well, I'm saying that's without that. Like if she wins it, obviously then
I could see
completely different
Anika
story.
because Anika's name was thrown into the secret HOH thing, and there was a light suspicion around her. I don't know if that got any traction really, but she was in there. She was talking about it. You know, Santina was putting her name out. If who knows if there's still fallout from this secret HOH this week? I assume that there is because there's been no confirmation of who it was. I could see him putting Anika up as an easy nomination with Renee as the target, or a Jonathan. Like maybe
Hope well,
Jonathan?
Hope is in the DR was in the HOH room, basically trying to keep the crown safe. So we'll see how that goes. You know, I don't know how confident I am in Hope's
Yeah, I
social
don't know about
skills.
that. I don't know about
But you know, we'll see. But that's all we got. That's all we know that's going on in the house of Big Brother for week 5. Obviously, like usual, if you want to catch what is going on over here at Silent Podcast or an update on Big Brother Canada, make sure you join us every single Friday. Except for next week, we are not doing a stream Friday. I believe we're doing it Saturday. So just to have any concrete details, please follow us on our social media pages for any updates. Right now, we are specifically active on our Twitter, but within the next few weeks, we'll be also migrating with Instagram, TikTok, and all that fun stuff. We're on all social media. I mean, all audio platforms. We're all still on Twitch and YouTube. So please follow, like, subscribe, comment. It helps us get into the YouTube algorithm. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. So, Josie, where can people find you? What are you getting into?
Yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JosianeXNM, JosianeXNM. I'm podcasting here. I'm hoping to do more things in the summer because I will be having my break from school. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe Canada's Bachelor in Paradise because there are a few BB Can stars in there. So we'll see. I'm also supposed to be on Love is Blurry for their reunion, which is apparently live. I don't know what that means specifically.
I don't know what that means either.
Live.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means like it's filmed an hour before. Like I'm just really confused what that means. But I'm excited to recap it because this cast has been messy boots. Okay, so check out Love is Blurry when I'll be on, or just in general because they do have great content. But yeah, that's it for me.
I seen some of these screenshots. I feel like I know what some partially what it's about, but Katie, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at RealSlimKatie. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore at the end. You can find me talking all things Real Housewives with Carrie on the Cool Water Show. We were back 2 weeks ago. We will be back again tomorrow, giving all the updates on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and Real Housewives of New Jersey. And we will eventually be back talking The Mandalorian. We're still working through scheduling for that. And I am bullying Isaiah and Javier to let me on the next episode of Love is Blurry. So I want to talk about these messy people too. So hopefully you'll catch me there.
Yeah, you can follow me at 8 Ball Bangers on all platforms. Yeah, Katie's invited, so she'll be. Let me check my calendar, y'all. Hold on. Katie will be with us sometime next week. God, I don't know.
Right.
Katie will be
You
with
let
us
me
next
know.
week to talk Love is Blind. So yeah, definitely join us next week. Me and Javier, usually it's Wednesdays, but we'll figure it out. But to talk Love is Blurry, because my God, some of these couples are so down bad it feels. So we'll see how that goes. If you also want to hear me talking more Love is Blind, I should be on RHAP with Asia and Mary, and Jason, like usual, debating who's toxic and who's not. We do it. This is our third time doing it. So check us out there. If you want more Big Brother content, obviously come here every Friday, except for next week. For Big Brother Canada, I should be on RHAP this week for a digital daily update as well. Oh yeah, the Big Brother review series. Me and Sasha, we did Big Brother 4 last week. Fun time, so check that out. In Total Drama is coming back this month. So excited. Me and Gia Worthy ranked every Total Drama character. It took us 3 hours. That was such a fun podcast. So check that out. And me and Sabrina are finally returning to review Total Drama World Tour next week as well. And lastly, I'm talking. If you can't tell by my wall, I love One Piece. So me and Sarah Beth from Big Brother 23 are going to talk about the One Piece manga on audio platforms. That's going to be so much fun. But until next week for a very spicy podcast, I'm Isaiah. Have a good one. Bye.